Hey everyone. So many of us are familiar with the 8 precepts, right? We see it as a spiritual practice, but do we really get the point of it? Today, we are going to dig way past the ritual to uncover the powerful psychological reason why this practice even exists.
I mean, you know that feeling, don't you? You're doing everything you're supposed to do, you're ticking all the right boxes, but there's still this inner agitation, this restlessness that you just can't seem to shake. Well, that exact feeling is the puzzle we're going to solve today.
Okay, so to really get this, let's start with something we all know pretty well, the 5 precepts, or panasil. This is kind of our ground floor for living an ethical life. So these 5 rules are basically the guide for how to live in a way that doesn't cause chaos. You know, they help us manage our outward behavior. Don't harm, don't steal, don't lie, and so on. They help create a stable, harmonious society. But what happens when you've got that down pretty well and you still feel that inner turmoil? Okay, and this right here, this is where things get really interesting. You see the shift? With the 5 precepts, the whole focus is on our actions, our words, the stuff on the outside, all for a harmonious life. But with the 8, we pivot. The focus moves inward to our mental states, and the goal levels up, from just living well to actually cultivating this deep inner purity and calm.
So if we're managing our actions, why does that restlessness stick around? Well, it's because of the mind's hidden unrest. And it's caused by 2 very persistent troublemakers that are always at work behind the scenes.
First up, meet troublemaker number 1, avijja. This is that powerful, almost magnetic feeling of I want it, I need it. It's that intense craving that just grabs your mind the second you see or hear or even just think of something you like. It's the constant pull towards things. And of course, it has a twin, domanassa. This is the exact opposite reaction. It's that sharp, visceral feeling of, ugh, get it away from me. It's the frustration, the annoyance, the aversion we feel towards anything we find unpleasant. And these two, this constant push and pull of avijja and domanassa, that's what keeps our minds in this hidden state of turmoil. So the big question is, how do we work with these incredibly powerful mental states? Well, this is where we get our advanced toolkit, the 8 precepts or Attilasil. Now, this is the absolute key. You have to stop thinking of these precepts as just a longer, more restrictive list of rules. They're not. They're more like a set of very precise mental exercises. They're designed with one single purpose: to weaken, to starve the roots of that craving and aversion, guiding the mind to a higher state of conduct, a kind of noble purity. And this quote right here just hits the nail on the head. This is the biggest trap we can fall into. If we follow these precepts just because that's the rule, without understanding the psychological why behind them, we miss the entire point. It just becomes an empty ritual, another form of clinging that can sometimes make us even more stressed out. Okay, let's make this really practical. Let's decode one of the rules that trips people up the most, the one about food. It's a question we've all had, right? Is there something magic that happens at noon? You know, does your food somehow become bad at 12:01 p.m.? The real answer, of course, has nothing to do with the clock and is so much deeper. Here's the insight. Think about it. Every single meal is a potential minefield for the mind. We see or smell food we love and bam, craving lights up. We get served something we don't like and boom, aversion kicks in. By intentionally reducing the number of times we even engage with this whole cycle, we're giving our mind a much-needed break from all those triggers. See, this totally reframes the whole practice. It's not about an endurance test or punishing your body. It's a strategic withdrawal from one of the biggest sources of mental stimulation in our day. It's about creating space and calm where there was once just constant reaction. And this exact same principle, reducing the triggers for craving and aversion, applies to another huge area of our lives, all the distractions from entertainment and even our own ego. Now, when you first look at this list, you might be thinking, whoa, okay, so they're just taking away all the fun, right? Music, shows, looking nice. What on earth could be wrong with those things? And again, it's so important to get this. The point isn't that these things are inherently bad or sinful, but they are incredibly potent stimulants for the mind. A song we love sparks intense pleasure and wanting more. A movie we hate creates irritation. A compliment on how we look feeds our ego.
For just one day, the practice is to simply let the mind rest from that entire drama. Now let's talk about that last one on the list, because this one can seem especially strange to us today. Refraining from high and luxurious seats. What could that possibly be about? I mean, is the goal just to be uncomfortable? Are you supposed to avoid a nice, comfy armchair? Well, just like the rule about food, the real meaning here is not at all what it looks like on the surface. And this is the aha moment. This precept isn't about furniture. It's a radical rejection of the Indian caste system. Back then, where you sat literally defined your status. This rule was a revolutionary social equalizer. It was a direct tool designed to dismantle the ego by forcing everyone, regardless of rank, to sit as equals. How amazing is that? So, when we put all these pieces together, we've decoded the rules about food, entertainment, and even seating. What's the ultimate destination? What's the endgame of this whole practice? This chart really helps visualize the effect. Look, while observing the 5 precepts gives us a great foundation, our minds can still be full of noise, right? That constant chatter of craving and aversion. The 8 precepts act like a powerful noise-canceling function. By deliberately reducing the triggers, we dramatically quiet that inner static. And that quiet, that's the whole point. The practice isn't just about having one peaceful day. It's about preparing the mind. It's like tilling soil to make it fertile. A mind that isn't constantly being yanked around by craving and shoved away by aversion is a mind that is finally clear, stable, and ready for real profound insight. So as we wrap up, it leaves us with a really practical question to think about for ourselves. Knowing that the goal is to reduce this mental noise, what's the biggest source of that noise in your life? What are the things that are constantly triggering that push of aversion and that pull of craving for you? It's a powerful place to start looking.